Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today we are gonna be expanding this awesome Lenovo x3650 Model 5. My good friend Jim, which had borrowed some dock cables, and I shamed him in a video and I shamed him on Twitter, and then the other day he dropped off 4 terabyte spinning discs, but 4 terabytes, 16 terabytes of drives. I must admit that my good friend Jim is excused for the moment. He is forgiven him. I am very happy with getting 4 terabyte hard drives that will be able to go directly into my awesome server, although I have a bit of a problem. 4 hard drives here and only 3 empty spots for them. I only have 3 spots in the server. I only have 2 trays for them, so right now I will only be able to expand it with 2. We're gonna do that, but I'm really very curious if this is possible without me restarting the server. The server is running Proxmox. It has a RAID controller, so I will have to put in the drives. I'll have to go into the RAID controller, expand the array. It's a RAID 5. That is doable, I believe. We'll have to check that, and then I will have to go over to Proxmox, see if it sees the more space, and yeah, we're gonna try that. So, but right now I just need to replace the trays. So it's not that interesting watching me unscrew these drives, but well, maybe for awesome subscriber that gave me this, thank you very much. It's still being used from time to time with these security torque screws. These hard drives are the Seagate Barracuda, and I keep saying that wrong, and I said it wrong. Well, I already showed on Patreon that I got these drives last week. Yeah, I messed up the I tend to call them Barracuda, and they are called Barracuda. Yeah, probably a lot of you will think that that's pronounced otherwise, but well, everybody keeps correcting me when I say Barracuda. And so I did that. These drives, I don't know if you know this, but every spinning drive over about 2.4 terabytes, they are shindled drives. It means that when it writes data, it's gonna be writing on a layer. I don't know if I can show this somehow. Okay, let's see how creative we can be here. Last week's ads. So we're gonna make some data here. There we are. So this is the data that we need to store on our hard drive, and to make room for more data on the drive, instead of just having each of the strips of data just beside each other like so. It's a very good representation here, because I'm not able to store the last data because this is taking up all the space. I can put them closer together like that, and that's about as close as it gets. Over the years, these strips has become thinner and thinner and thinner, and now we are down to about, well, 2.4 terabytes on a drive like that. So shindled drives, what the problem is that when you write to the disk, you need to put some power onto that for the magnetic field to actually register as a 1 or a 0. So you need to put some power into that, and you actually need this width to do that. The head in the hard drive needs to be at a specific size, or it needs to be at a good size to do that. But then you can, instead of lining them, having the next data coming beneath it, you can overlap it. So the next data is written like that. It overlaps the first one. It's not a problem when I have to read the drive. I can still read this up here. It takes up less space. I can read here and I can read there, and the rest of the data, well, that is also being overlapped. So now the data takes up a lot less space, and it's only a problem with the write cycle. When you're writing data to the disk, when you're reading it, you don't need as much space. So now there is room for that additional data here. So we can put that in. So now we have our data and it fits on our hard drive, and we can read all of it. When this becomes really difficult is when data on this strip up here. Oh, I messed that up. If I need to change some data here, this data has changed. It's the other side. I can't just write new data on it because it's not gonna fit down there. So I have to read all of this data, and then I have to write this data again, and probably also need to write this data. I'll write this data, and I'll write this data the other side up, and then I have to write all of this data to the hard drive as well, because that is needed, and it needs to go in this shindled way. Otherwise the data is not going to be good for anything. And yeah, this process takes longer, and that's why shindled hard drives don't perform as well. The read speed is not bad, but the write speed can suffer from this. If you have a few very large files, well, it's not going to be as big a problem, especially if it's a lot of large files that isn't used very much. Shindled drives are really good for archiving, but as the workhorse in the server, they are not as fast, but they work as well. It just takes longer to write data to them. I'm gonna be putting those in here. Those two new drives there. Two new 4 terabyte drives. So I have these 3 drives, 3 times 4 terabytes. One of them is of course the safety. So I'm going from about 7 terabytes to about 14 terabytes in this server when I figure out how to expand this. There, 2 new drives, and we probably have to go to the computer and do a lot of stuff. At the computer here, we are ready to log in. I have found the IP number of my IMM on the x3650 Model 5, so let's click login. And it will tell me all the wonderful thing about this server, I'm sure. And model number, serial, blah 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 blah. But we also have some local storage, which might be important because we have added some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives now. That's awesome. So what can we see? We can see that we have storage pool number 0. That's 2 300 gigabyte SAS drives. Then we have storage pool 1, that's RAID 5, and we have about 7.45 terabytes of storage there. So let's see if we. It seems that the drives are not ready to be added. So let's see physical volume. Yeah, okay. These drives that Jim has supplied me, they have a foreign configuration on them, so I'll have to get rid of that first before I can do anything with them. So okay, I was just about to go out there and remove the drives and format them on my computer, but up here under more action there is a detect foreign configuration, and if I select the RAID controller here and action, I can detect foreign configuration. So let's do that, and I can import the foreign configuration or clear, which will remove RAID configuration from foreign configuration. I think we will do that. So okay, I hope that's gonna help us. And it's not just formatting all my drives in my RAID controller. That would be a bad day. It completed. Okay, close. So how does that look now? Yes, we have 2 unconfigured good drives down here. Awesome. Big store, more action, create volume, RAID controller, create new volume on new storage pool is the option that we have. It doesn't look like I can do that. I don't know what's wrong. There is like this menu where I can create a new array out of those 2 drives, but it's as if I'm supposed to click down and just pick that I'm going to expand another array, but well, it doesn't click. So I have shut down the server out here, and I have to go in and try from the BIOS. I'm a bit disappointed with this. This is like getting your brand new Mercedes, and and you have to pop the hood every time you have to change the channel on the radio. Yeah, not happy about that. So instead we're gonna go into the BIOS and see if we can do it from there, which I hope. Otherwise I will have to boot it on a Windows and use the software for managing the RAID controller that way. I really hope that this is possible from within the BIOS. And we press F1 here, and it sees that we've done that, and it's gonna continue into the BIOS for us. Okay, we arrived at the BIOS. So system settings, and we have storage down there, and we have the RAID controller. So far so good. And we have to go into this main menu, and here we can configure our stuff. We can see the drives probably. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those drives. Oh, that adds up. I was thinking that there were 6 in here, but well, there isn't. So get over it. Okay, so the first 4, the 2 300 gigabytes and the 2 4 terabytes are in port 0, and the next 3 drives are in port 4. Most likely those 2 are the new ones. Let's check those. Select operation. There is more options here, that's good. Okay, but I don't think it's here we have to do it. I would expect that it's maybe it's there, or maybe it's there. What you do in a RAID controller is that you have some physical drives, and out of those physical drives you make some arrays, and on those arrays you make some virtual drives, and those virtual drives are the drives that are presented to the operating system. So I have presented 2 virtual drives here. I have one of 300 gigabytes, those 2 SAS drives, and I have one of, well, it says 7.2 terabytes. It's really 8 terabytes in a RAID 5. So maybe it's here we can do something. So I think it's here in the main menu, and we go down to virtual drive management, and we go into the big store here, which is those 3 drives currently. So we go in there, and we can, in operations up here, we can pick that, and we have to reconfigure our virtual drives. Reconfigure there, and we have to press we have to go down and select go. Really weird there. Here we can see that we are in RAID 5. We don't have many options. We have RAID 0, 1 and 5. We're going to keep it in 5, and we're going to choose the operation there, and in here we can either add or remove drives. So we're going to be adding some drives. Yeah, we have 2 drives down here. They haven't done it very clearly. It just looks like a lot of mumble jumble, but we can go down and we can select those drives by hitting the space bar and kind of tell it that this has to be part of the array. This isn't pretty, Lenovo. This isn't pretty. It could be a lot smoother than this. Oh yeah, if I had a lot of drive, I could just mark them all, or I can unmark them all. So and I can apply the change. Let's see what it says. It wants me to confirm that I'm not drunk. I have 1 virtual machine on that array. I will manage if I mess this up. So we're gonna say yes. Operation has been completed successful. Okay. and yeah, choose the operation. So now we have still 2 drives we can add. That's weird. Did I do this wrong? Guess we'll try that again. Start the operation. Okay, choose the operation. Okay. So now we can start. Okay, so I have to go down and start the operation even though I have just told it that I wanted to do this. Okay, the operation has been started. It will take several minutes or hours to complete. These are big drives, so okay. And we can see over here that they are actually blinking happily. So right now we are, well, they are being synced into the array. So good. So far so good. I put in that RAID expander thing. It's like a cache controller for the RAID card, and that enables me to run RAID 5 and safe store. Both of those are enabled, so that is good. Right now, virtual drive in progress, number 1. Let's see if that tells us anything. Yeah, it tells us up here that our virtual drive big store RAID 5 is reconstructing. It's at 0%, so it might take a while before it's all good and done. Okay, this is definitely a background project because you can probably see it has reached 1%. In the meanwhile, I've been out here doing some gardening work because it's a wonderful day for that. So I'm cutting down my bushes over here, or my fence, and yeah, progress bars are great for that. The little robot is helping. He's a pain in the ass, but well, he is helping. Okay, 3%. This is hours later. I've been out doing gardening for about probably 3 hours, so well, this is gonna take a while. But I expect that we can shut down the server and the array will still be there, and it will be able to work on. It will just be doing this in the background. There is kind of a benefit of having a RAID controller. It can do that. So let's escape. Settings were changed. Do you want to save it? Yeah, let's do that. Yes. Recalibrating something. Okay, so yeah, we'll go check it at the computer when it has booted. Okay, we are at the computer, and I must say this looks like to be another disappointment. Proxmox is up and running again. The big store here is up and running again. If we go and see the disks here, we see 7.28 terabytes, and we have used 100%. I expect that when it's done with expanding the array, it might actually say that we're like 50%, but there is not like a button or anything to expand it from in the web interface here. So you will have to go and use this shell thing over here, which is like asking someone to go and open the hood of the car and reconfigure the engine if you want to jump from 2nd gear to 4th gear without going to 3rd gear, whatever. I'm sure it's possible, but well, it bloody hell isn't user friendly. Yeah, that was kind of a double disappointment. First, the Lenovo server was not able to expand the array from within the IMM, and second, it doesn't look like that Proxmox is going to be able to expand the volume in there either, even though there is more space available. When it's done at some point, we can see that it is working over here. These two are blinking. They are being put into the array. Awesome. It's possible to install a package into the Proxmox Linux here, something called Stortly. Set of instructions to manage the storage controllers. These Broadcom controllers that are in here, LSI, Broadcom, you know, these companies are buying each other all the time. So right now it's It's Broadcom that has the LSE controllers that Lenovo is using. So yeah, double disappointment. So I might have to look at that store cleat at some point. I'm really not happy about that. It's like half-done products. Well, it works, but you have to stand on your head to have it working. So, well, that's just me ranting and being miserable. I have to go out into the sun now and enjoy that. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, hopefully doing something that works next time. This is gonna work too. It's just way more difficult than it was supposed to. I was hoping to just... Yeah, have a nice day. Bye bye.